Hello YouTube and welcome to a flight from Beijing to Shanghai. I've done all the initial preparation for the aircraft. There's a little bit left we need to do, but we just need our passengers to get on board and sit down and be happy and all that, and then we certainly are ready to go. Alright, let's go over the overhead once again. Did all the checks. We are fueled, so we can turn the pumps on, and we can also set this on here. We did the test of the engines. There are no white lights around here that are annoying, shouldn't be there. Yeah, I would say that we more or less are ready to go. Let's go to cabin. Let's see how much time we have left. Maybe we can ask the 8 minutes. Maybe we can ask them to expedite it a little bit.
We're ready up here if we can finish the boarding process a bit sooner.
We'll see what we can do.
So I'm going to go to the report page right away. Oh, it wasn't the report page. Let me get the meter once again. 352, 2 meters per second. That's probably around 4.5 knots. So not very terrible. But they are variable between 320 and 02, so they're sort of basically all over the place. Still 1026, yes. And altitude, let's just go with our 381 if I'm not mistaken. Stop that. Three, 8, 1. Yes. All right, and I am so very much confident that the most sensible way to push back would be... Wow, cannot really see what is what here, but there's some grass there or whatever that is. I'm probably not going to... I need to take a look around me. Ah, that's why. Yeah, all right. Then let's do it a little bit different then. See if I can see where the green dots are over here. No, I cannot. Let's ask him to push me. Probably around here. So let me push back here. And then forward to here somewhere. Then we can find our own way into.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Thank you. Alright, I think we can safely turn on the APU now. The APU's online now, so let's turn on the clock. See how much time is left. 1 minute. All right. Move the chocks as well. Go to internal. Remove these. Move the air condition.
We're ready to go when you are. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 7437 with service to Shanghai. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps, and stand by for all calls.
Yep. It's called a tuck.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
See how much time? 2 minutes. Let's just turn on the bleed now. Disconnected external power and batteries. Everything seems to be ready for flight. All doors and hatches are closed. Yes. Let's go to ground equipment. Remove that. Airplane, cabin.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Flight directors on. Yes. And these should be removed when we start up the engines. Alright, cabin door unlocked.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright. Just make sure that we don't have any controllers. No, we don't. And we are on 122.8. Yes, so let me just see. Going to be facing south. Alright. And we were 7437? 7437, yes. Alright, let me start this here. Beijing traffic, United 7437 at stand 508. Wait a second. Where the heck am I? Airport. parking west. Let's see. No. And it's parking east. Try that. Yeah. And we are... apron 4. Yeah, it's apron 4 here, so we must be at 408. Alright. Beijing traffic, United 7437 at stand 408. Pushback and engine start facing south. Alright. Let's have him push back. You start, sir.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I will. Start engines. Starting engine 1. Let's take an outside view of this, because it sounds really cool. Yeah, from somewhere on the tarmac.
Gentlemen, please direct your complete attention to the flight attendants as they
From, I don't know, a stand.
You will notice a light illuminated above your seat. When this light is illuminated, please fasten your seatbelt low and tight across the lap. Fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. Suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight as you continue unexpected. Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency exits on the aircraft. In some cases, there is exit gates behind you. In case of an emergency, you need to evacuate the aircraft. There is lighting on the floor that will guide you. In the event that the cabin loses pressure,
Nice.
your mask will drop right in front of you.
Alright, let's start engine 2.
Place it firmly over your nose and mouth and secure the elastic band behind your head. Tighten the strap if necessary and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist.
Outside.
Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you. Outside the event in the water, the flight left is when it's done,
So I'm pretty sure that if anyone here was sleeping at this moment, they aren't anymore. Alright, so let's start the chrono because we need about 5 minutes startup. A warm up of the engines. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of this should also not just go out right away. I've heard a lot of people complain about the beacon. It seems weird. Alright, so I know this guy's going to be bugging me the rest of the flight if I don't let him, so... I mean, if I don't annoy him to commit suicide, that's also an option.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. Airbus A350 have 8 emergency exits, 4 on the left side of the cabin and 4 on the right. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of any compression,
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and bag does not inflate. Oxygen is flow into the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a uniformed crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head, past the straps.
So it's disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you.
If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. The following electronic devices: calculators, CD players, laptops.
Alright, let's blink him so he can see that we got him.
Sign it off, or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote controlled toys, or any electronic devices operating with
Flaps to 2.
must be turned off at all times.
Speed brake.
We remind you,
Set rotated takeoff to arm.
tampering with
Takeoff config test.
smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by
We're ready to taxi when he's finished. Alright, let's see.
in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members.
Nope.
We wish you all an enjoyable flight. Thank you.
Taxi cam in up. Fortunately. There's a lot of in up on this plane here. It works sort of, you can fly reasonable well, but all the little sort of nifty cool details, they are not in it yet, at least. There may be a coming version 2. I don't know. We're going to see. They made noise, so that's a good start at least. Alright, let me see. So we're going to taxi from... Yankee 1 to Tango 1 and then... No, let's just say Yankee 1 to Tango 2 and then Golf and then holding short Echo 1. Let's see if I should be able to figure that out. Beijing traffic, United 7437, taxi to runway 36 right, via Yankee 1, Tango 2, Golf, holding short Echo 0. Alright, let's try it out, see where it takes us. Let's open this page up. Let's do a flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Alright, flight control check's done. Up. Oh, I know. It depends very much on how complicated the taxi system is, but also how nice the air traffic controller is. But some of them are really nice to sort of give you them sort of very stepwise in a slow order so you can follow along. Some of them I think know that most people will be writing it down. So some would go like I did, something like you taxify Yankee 1, Tango 2, Golf, holding short Echo 1, or Echo 0. And that's nice if they do it like that, so you can sort of follow along it in a reasonable way. But some of them would also say, let's see, United 737, thank you to runway 36 right via Yankee 1, Tango 2, Tango 1, Golf, Echo 1, holding short Echo 0. Just and then if they have a lot of them right, it will be link 1, link 2 1, link 1 2, Echo 1, Echo 2, Echo 1 2, Foxtrot 3, Foxtrot 1 4, Echo, Echo 2, holding short link 2 5. Yeah. Got it. Or not. Could you stop at link 2 1? Start over at link 2 1? I think it's Schiphol, Amsterdam airport. They have a really complicated taxi system because they have sort of just, I think it's the airport where they have smacked up a runway sort of up in the top, just a bit outside the sort of what you would consider to be the ordinary, yeah, exactly. And they just have a taxi system that is completely impossible to figure out. Yeah, exactly. And that is when you have figured out which taxi route you were actually given. All right. Let's start by annoying him.
I have nothing to say, sir.
I know you don't.
Is there anything you want?
Yeah, I want to annoy you as much as I possibly can. Oh, I forgot that. I hate this. Let's see. Let's turn this to on. Doesn't seem to be anything else I need to really do. TA is already set. We have traffic on. Alright. Yeah. Sort of the kind of air traffic controller that just doesn't bother, just drive wherever you want to. I'm going to tell you when to stop if there's traffic. Find your own way. Let's see. Yeah. Beijing traffic. United 7437. Takeoff runway 36 right. Was right? Yeah, it was right. Alright. Little bit too much brake. Reasonable lineup in my opinion. Let's get all the lights on. Alright. Take off. Spool them to about 50%. Have them stabilize. They're about. Alright. Man Toka, SOS runway, auto throttle blue. B1, get your damn hands off the throttle. Rotate. Yeah, it is. Positive climb, gear up. Those engines, they are really big and juicy. Go back to... where is it? There, throttle climb. There's no indentation click here, that's a little annoying. I missed that from the Tolus. Go to... flaps 1. Disarm that, and let's go to flap 0. Yep. It's a good idea also to remember to turn. Alright, so I'm going to hand fly it a little bit. Let's get a flyby. Oh, not yet. Yeah, who cares? Sounded like a freaking racing car.
Now past 2000 feet, you may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you'll be directed to a page to a small key for internet access. We do do offer complimentary in-flight seats to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our
All right.
wide range of free live feeds to your safety pleasure. The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you do the case of unexpected turbulence.
I mean, this one. Already did that. Already did that. Alright, so let me show you here. 3. Oh. Turn the lighting down a little bit. So if we go to the old style FMS that with the MacDo that we have here, and go to progress and go to report, you can see here that we have flown over Alpha Alpha 410. We did it at 0316 UTC at flight level 121. We're going towards Alpha Alpha 411. We're going to get there at 0318 Zulu. And at flight level 185, and the next waypoint again is going to be Lulta at 0321. We're going to be there at flight level 226. Outside air temperature is -29. Winds are 044 knots at 307 degrees. Fuel on board is 14.9. At our destination, the same thing. Distance, our estimated fuel on board is going to be 8.2. Alright, let's look at the same page given in the new FMS system, which we should have down here. Alright, so the last sequenced waypoint is Alpha Alpha 411. Okay, we flew over that. It was sequenced at 0318 Zulu at flight level 185. It's okay. Next waypoint, 2 waypoint, what we're going towards is... Okay, we're going to get there at the 0321 Zulu at flight level 22,700 and something. I'm pretty sure that's out in outer space. Next waypoint is going to be... Yeah. We're going to get there at 032020 and flight level 24,900 and something. Right. Okay. Last sequence waypoint. Outside air temperature was -29. That's okay. It's probably true. The wind was 300 and... I'm sorry. 307 knots at 044. So I don't know about hurricane or something like that. And the fuel on board was 14.9. Probably also okay. And down here, at destination, we're going to be there at 0437. Yeah, it's okay. Distance is 611 nautical miles. Estimated fuel on board is... Well... I mean, this is what I mean. This is the kind of bugs I find to be stupid. There are a lot of bugs in this plane I know would probably take them a very long time to fix. and there's some missing functionality that I would like to see in this airplane, because it is a nice airplane, definitely. But these kind of bugs here, I mean, this is probably something about dividing a variable or pointer with 100 or 10. The same here. And this is just swapping out two numbers. Because if you look up here, the wind is 42 at 301. I mean, and this is why I get a little bit annoyed. I mean, this is something, how the heck did something like that even go past quality check, internal quality check? I mean, it's almost, I don't want to put words in people's mouth or anything like that, but it quite frankly seems to me just a little bit that they just thought something like nobody's going to notice. Yeah, I know, and that's okay, but it's not a new aircraft. It is an aircraft that has gone through several bug fixing iterations. If it was an aircraft they made, if it was the A346 from Tolis, that would be okay. I mean, it is at the version 101, right? So they did a little bit of bug fixing from version 100 to 101, and probably going to fix some more bugs down the line. It would not have bothered me at all. But this aircraft here is at version 1.6.16, I think it is. And even so, let's just say fair enough. There are some bugs. They slipped, right? I've reported 2 or 3 times several places that these bugs to Flight Factor, and they haven't even recognized them. I mean, then it would have been completely fair. I don't know. It just annoys me a little bit that they could let the bugs like these slip, and then when someone point them out, they don't respond. It don't need to be a great, long, big response. Just say, we're aware of it, we're looking into it. That'd be all. Perfect. The only response I got was from someone that was not affiliated, just a regular user like me. And he said, well, don't expect any fixes until they are going to rework it for, if they're going to rework it for a version 2 for X-Plane 12. Which, I have to say, would also be fair. That's also completely fair. But that's something I want to hear from Flight Factor. That's not something I want to hear from another user. And the thing that annoys me the most, actually, is that the exact same numbers, they're present here. Right? They're right here. It's the exact same page, the exact same numbers, the exact same values, except for the next cruise change profile. That would probably be some data from for the step climbs, which I would have loved to seen here. just step here. That would be cool. But the things that they've put in here, I mean, they're here. So what the heck went wrong here? And I would say it like this. There are a lot of stuff in here that yeah, and that's okay. That's okay as well, Senata. It's completely fair to say we're working on a new aircraft right now. We'll get back to this aircraft eventually. That would been fair if they had said it. It's mostly the lack of communication that annoys me more than it is. I mean, there's a lot of functionality in here that is missing. The taxi cam. There's no fix info settings, and there's a lot of stuff. I mean, they have sort of made it seems like sort of the preparation for implementing the CPDC CL or whatever it's called in here as well, the ACAR system. It's not here yet. It's fair. It's okay. They didn't have time for it. Whatever. Completely fair. But they need to say it. And in my opinion, saying we're working on a new aircraft somewhere is not enough. Because I don't think it's fair that I, the owner of the A359, have to go to a thread of the, I think it's the Dreamliner they're working on right now, the 787, to figure out that it's there. I mean, it might be that under the upcoming Dreamliner thread, if there is one on the Explain Forum, they have written that they're currently working on this aircraft, meaning that everything else, bug fixing, everywhere else is going to be delayed or on standby. But that is something they need to sort of tell everywhere. I mean, or in a sort of an overall thread. News from Flight Factor, something like that. And that would also help, I would say for me personally at least, that I don't have to spend a lot of time being annoyed about having to guess what's going on. Like you said, your expectation is that they are working on a new aircraft add-on. That might be. But we don't know, and that's the issue. I don't know if you heard it on one of my other streams. I have the exact same issue with I'm not really a big Boeing fan, but yeah, I'm it depends on what they do with it. It's interesting that they are actually making two aircraft that there is sort of in real life is almost in direct competition with each other. I think there's a little bit. I've heard there's by other Explain players that they have a little bit of a disagreement whether the A359 is a direct competitor with the 777 or the 787. In my opinion, from what I can see in the sort of internal layout, the luxury and all of that. For me it seems that the A359 is more a competitor with the Dreamliner than the 777. But the same issue I have with what they called
Starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Back for a list of complimentary
Flight Sim Soft, the people behind PFPX and TopCat. And from then, I mean, at least I can go back and watch previous threads and see that the developers from Flight Factor has actually been commenting. With Flight Sim Soft, there's been radio silence, complete radio silence for a very long time. So I wrote a couple of emails. I wrote one email, but it became a couple of emails to sort of back and forth to Flight Sim Soft and asking them what's going on with TopCat. Mainly TopCat, because despite there's still some small bugs in PFPX, it's still a fully functional piece of software, and it is future-proof because non-affiliated people can make aircraft profiles for PFPX, and thereby extending its longevity, because we can get profiles for newer add-ons that were not available when Flight Sim Soft made PFPX. The same is not the case with TopCat, because TopCat apparently has a very weird structure for their profiles, and as far as I could understand, of the one answer I have heard in a very long time directly from Flight Sim Soft, probably it's the owner, Christian, that TopCat is written in a very old language. That's fair enough if they don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that's fair enough if I knew it. The issue here is that I got in touch with one of the people behind Flight Sim Soft. I don't know how many they are. It seems like there are two people. I think she's called Judith. And we had sort of a conversation back and forth via emails, and I got what I would call the annoying sort of standard corporate answer. So she wrote something like, because the recent bankruptcy of Air Berlin, and I was sort of a little bit thinking, what the heck has Air Berlin to do with this? But I don't know, maybe they're a stockholder, I don't know. Contributor, it doesn't say anywhere, at least. They had to orient themselves in a new direction. It's just like, well, what the frick does that mean? I mean, how does that answer my question? I wanted to know what they're intending to do with TopCat, because TopCat is, despite apparently being written in a very old language, a fantastic piece of software. And in my opinion, there's absolutely nothing out there right now that can directly compete with neither PFPX or TopCat. Even with the fact that the profile for TopCat hasn't been updated since 2016, I think the latest one was. There's just nothing that can compete with them. They are overall fantastic software that can give you, that is so flexible and can do so many things. And that is really why I am completely and utterly annoyed that that they're nothing. I mean, not even that they're not going to update it. They're not going to tell us. They're not told us whether they're going to update it. I've heard rumors, more or less, because Aerosoft has decided no longer to sell PFPX, because from what they have heard, Flight Sim Soft is not going to continue developing on it. So here's my buff. What I really sort of, the problem here for me is PFPX. I don't really care, because yeah, there's some bugs, they're annoying, but it works. it works from what I'm using it from what I'm using it for. And the profiles, I mean, I can buy new profiles from other fourth party developer, it might be. So that's okay. But I can't do the same with Topcat because they have the only way to update the profiles. And she told me it takes a long time to update a profile. It's okay. It's fair enough. But I would expect that you could sort of update perhaps a couple of profiles at least. Make a couple of new profiles since 2016. Oh, let me see. 0412, and we are now at... So about... 22, 32 minutes, something like that. So yeah, that's just it's just I mean, we're such a small community that dang. Thank you, Renlo TV. For some reason, during a stream, whenever there's always one point when someone is following me, when I when I get spooked by that sudden dang da da dun dun dun. But thank you for following me. And yes, I need to put that comma in because right now it says that thank you for following yourself. I would actually say that the thing that annoys me the most about the thing with Topcat and Flight Simsoft is that it's a damn good program. That's why I'm annoyed. I have a fantastic profile for program for calculating the takeoff and landing performance data, where it takes account of runway slope. It's built in. The runway slope and all of that is built into the program. It automatically takes care of all of that. And you can print it out, you can get it as a PDF, you can do a heck of a lot of things with it. Damn, you can even send it as an ACARS message to the plane. It is such a fantastic piece of software, and the only plane I can use it for right now is the 737. It's the only one. The A321, the A346, and the A359 here, no profiles. I have profiles for all of these planes in PFPX, just except the Neo, the A321 Neo Pratt & Whitney engines. They are not there are no profiles for them yet, but I guess that the performance is relatively similar to the LEAP engines. The what are they called? It's Pratt & Whitney, and then there are CFM LEAP. And it's mostly, I guess it's mostly for, because it doesn't take account of takeoff and landing. It's mostly for fuel calculations, and that offset there might be within the fuel calculation for the A321 with the Pratt & Whitney. I can probably sort that out by just adding some numbers for fuel offsets. But let's set the next step's going to be for 390, Let's see what the recommended is. Up. 387, yeah, optimal. And then I'm going to add some numbers for PFPX for this plane here. It's the aircraft database. And that's the it's called an aircraft performance monitoring tool. And I have a lot of readings in here. I mean, just listen to this, what they've put in. In the aircraft performance monitoring, you can select whether you want a graph to be fuel bias or drag bias. That's what it can calculate of. But you can select of the calculation methods the standard deviation, highest, 95, 95th percentile, the 90th percentile, the 80th percentile, the 70th percentile, the 16th percentile, the median, or the average. And I have to say that for a physicist like me, oh, it's gold, and you just have all of these different calculation methods to sort of figure all of this out. I love it. I've set it for average right now, but I could set it to whatever I wanted. So what you put into that little calculator is the gross weight, the altitude, the cruise speed that you got from your flight plan or when you planned it, the true airspeed, the ground speed, and the fuel per hour. That's it. That's all you need to put in. And I can get that by going into fuel and over here going to fuel and load. Because the gross weight here is a little bit more stable. This one is constantly updating. And the fuel here should give me 97 kilograms per minute. If you compare that with the AT-46 that last time I flew, it used 150 kilograms per minute, so it certainly is more fuel efficient. Let's just wait until we get the step now message. It should come down here somewhere. My only hope is that FlightSimSoft is actually secretly behind the curtain, contemplating on making a Top Cat version 2. That would be the greatest, probably one of the greatest Christmas presents with respect to flight simming that I could get. And I mean, in my opinion, because these programs are so good. Oh, that's way too early. There are two options that you can do. I would put it like this, and I'm not a real pilot. I mean, not a real world pilot. So, oh, step now. All right, step now. So I might be completely off the mark here. What? Let me just see if I get this correctly. Hopefully you're saying to me you activated it before the top of descent. Hopefully you mean 5 nautical miles before the top of descent, and not that your top of descent was 5 nautical miles away from the airport. Because that would be a real one step down. From what I've gathered is that you really only activate the approach phase yourself if you need to, because yeah, I mean, let me put it as kindly as I can. Activating your approach before your top of descent that would be like let me see, trying to gain speed in a car and then pushing the brakes while going downhill. So let me try to explain what the airplane, the plane is doing two things from what I know during a descent. It's going to try to maintain a certain speed. And the only way it can maintain that certain speed is to, when you're descending, that is, I mean, is to control the pitch of your nose, how much you're going up or down. And so if you set a very high speed, it'll just say, all right, down with the nose, because I can use all of this speed to descend, so I'm just going down. That is basically what it's going to do when you select an open descent in an airpost, pulling the knob here. In manage, it's going to, and in open descent, it's not going to uphold all the restrictions that you might have flying. So if there are certain altitude restrictions or speed restrictions, it just completely ignores it. Just go down as fast as I possibly can without breaking the plane. When you're doing a managed, it's going to do the same, but try to keep itself within a certain limit, speed limit. And when it goes down to usually 250, when you're below 10,000, if you notice, try to do and then this only applies for an Airbus, because I don't know how it's going to do it in a Boeing. But if you try to do it in an Airbus, you just say descent, manage descent all the way down. Notice what happens when it goes below 10,000. It's going to pull the nose up just slightly. And that is because you certainly are going faster than it wants to do. So the way it can slow itself down is to pull up the nose so that you're not going to descend as fast. Then the speed is slowly going down to the 250. And when it's at 250, it's going to put the nose down a little bit to maintain those 250. So here's the trick. When you press deactivate the approach phase, the plane is going to think, oh, okay, we're about to land. So I'm going to put my speed all the way down to where you can safely extend the flaps. But then you ask it to descend at the same time, so it's going to think, all right, I need to go down, but because I want to have those flaps out, I'm not going to go faster than that, meaning that your descent is going to be very, very, very slow, and you're probably going to overshoot your airport by many, many, many miles. So I would say the safest thing for you to do is just leave the approach phase to itself. Unless plunge and maintain, yes. Unless you're in a situation where you can see that you need to get the airplane stabilized fairly quickly. Because the minute you press that activate approach phase, the plane is going to think, oh, down to safe flap speed. And what I mean, I don't know if you know that, have heard that term before, probably have. What I mean when I say it's stabilized, it means that you have your landing gear down, you have full flaps. If you're doing flaps 3, then you have flaps 3 landing. You have everything set for your landing. So if you can see that you are just turning around to the place where you're about to capture the ILS, the glide slope and the localizer, and it hasn't activated the approach phase yet. And you can see, yes, it will. At least in the Airbuses I have flown, and that is this one here and the Tolis. The other way that you can use the approach phase is if you want to give yourself a little bit more headroom. So let's say you are down at the altitude where you are is supposed to capture the glide slope and the localizer. That it's let's just get a so in this case here it would be 6,890 feet. So if you're here and you still have, let's say that you are out here, for example, or maybe even out here somewhere, and you're coming in here and turning into this one here and beginning to start your approach, you can press the approach phase here. It will slow the airplane down to the first step for flaps, so you will have a little bit of time to sort of think things through. And then you can extend to flaps 2 around here, and then you'll have a very nice margin for capturing the getting the airplane stabilized before you're even close to having really to do it. The usual approach would be about 2,000 feet. In this case here it's 6,008, but about 2,000 feet above the altitude of the runway, you would have flaps 2 out, and about 1,000 feet above the just auto land. Yeah, that's one way to do it, but it doesn't take care of the flaps itself. About 1,000 feet above the airport, the runway, you should be fully stabilized. So all the flaps out you need, gear down, and set the auto brake and call the cabin crew, and all those things should be done at that point. I'm not exactly sure where Flight Factor DFMS activates the approach phase. I'm pretty sure it's usually around this area here. Pilo. But the thing is, and that's very important to remember, you're the captain. Okay. So if you want to be completely on the safe side and press that activate approach phase way before you actually need to do it, then you do that. Because it's better that you spend too much time flying with flaps full extended and gear down than having to extend gear and go full flaps 500 feet above the runway. Oh, I can certainly make things go wrong, trust me. I think that if I have landed some of the, I think it's the A321, I've landed that plane in such a way that you didn't need to retract the landing gear anymore, because it was pushed all the way up into the fuselage because of that landing. But at least I got into a little bit of a better point where I tend to float a little bit above the runway, so at least I don't crash down into the runway anymore. All right, that calculation. So we are saying 193.6. So 193,600, and I'm writing this into PFPX on my other monitor. We are at 390. True airspeed is 493. Ground speed is 538. Fuel was 95, and I need to multiply 95 times 60. That is 5,700. And the true air temperature is minus 25, so that's okay. So according to this, I should be using 11.56 kilograms per nautical miles. Our actual Mach should be 0.861. It's close enough. Calculated true airspeed is 488. Calculated Mach is 0.852. Well, fuel per hour is 5.215 kilograms per hour. Fuel bias is 9.3% and drag is -1. So let's apply that. And our new fuel bias is going to be still 13.2. All right. All right, yeah, 15 nautical miles. That's probably a little bit too far away to start full flaps. But it's better to be 15 nautical miles too early with flaps full than being 5 nautical miles too late with flaps full. Now let's go and look at some screens down here. Yeah, that's the other issue here. Need to go down here. Let's go to they're all. Let's go to engines. So vibrations, oil looks good, oil temperature is fine. N2N3 and the fuel kilograms per hour. Let's go to doors. Hopefully closed. 1 feet per minute. These numbers look good, and rain repellent level is normal. Wheels, nothing really to report here. Fuel. They seem to be relatively equalized, so that's okay. Video, hello. Electric DC. Yeah, it seems fine. Sorry, AC, DC. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can do that. And there you would usually be around 2,000 feet, depending on airport. Runway elevation and all that. Usually you'll be about 2,000 feet above the runway when you begin to set flaps 2, and then somewhere in between flaps 2,000 feet above and 1,000 feet above, you'll go to full extended with gear down. Usually you would want to be fully stabilized by 1,000 feet above. Flight controls. Looks good. No hydraulic leaks or anything like that. APU, not running. Bleed. So we probably only... I suspect that this is high pressure air, so we're only getting low pressure air, which I would expect. 30 psi, 87 degrees, then some hot air, cold air packs, 11 degrees. Looks good. Condition, 23 degrees. Yeah. Pressure, auto cap altitude, auto VS, perfect. Dispatch, nothing there, because it doesn't work. STS, normal. Something deferred. Cruise. Yeah. Just do a 250. Oh, Snitzel, you made Streamlabs bot mad at you. Just do a 250 knots landing. It'll be fine. I'm not going to notice. Alright, let's try to get a, wrong thing. Meter for Shanghai. Variable 1 meter per second, so we're just going to go what we have in the plan. I'm just going to put that in. Let's see if it gave me that as well. On Kiao, I think it just going to say Shanghai traffic. Let's see. Airport. $18 right. Alright. Does it say here? I cannot remember. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So SAS 62A. It's going to be 18 right. Let's do ILS set via. Ah. So let me see, where does that 62 end? It ends at SS201. I can certainly try. Sinada, sorry. Transition, none. Let's see if we got any discounts. Nope. Let's see what we got. Oh. Alright. That's going to be 0. We have variable 1 meter per second. 2, 3? Let's just say 2. 2 knots. No. Nothing here, because otherwise it would give me a direction, and I don't want that. Outside air temperature is 13. QNH. 1027. Oh. That I do need. Let's see. So we are going to use the... No. Arrival. Yeah. Says something 628. Oh, let's see. There. And then 18 right. So we're going to come here via 201 SF and down here. And our entry is going to be 1810. Alright. And finally, the airport. We're going to come in via 18 right, so we're going to vacate to the right, because that is left here, so and it's reversed, so it should be to the right. Vacate right, and then park somewhere around here, I think. I decided for myself, but let's see. Straight in, 159. Transition, does it say here? Altitude 118. Yeah, transition level 118. Yes. I'm going to do a fully landing, flaps full. All right, let's get a flyby. I mean, we can do an auto land today. That'll be fine. It's been a while since I've done an auto land in this one here. Since we have quite reasonable winds. I mean, I have to admit, Schnitzel, that what I really like about these screens is when you go to init, basically everything, almost everything that you need to do in order to get the plane flying is on this page here. We just need to fill out everything. I mean, not save route, right? But everything here needs to be filled out. Flight level, temperature, cost index, tropo, heading wind if you want to do that, winds, IRS, departure, nav age, fuel load, takeoff performance. Just this down there, then you have it. That's all. And that's, in my opinion, is way easier than having to go through the diff rips or diffs rip or whatever acronym people want to use for the MacDo. If you haven't heard that before, let me just so diff rip is the way to set up the MacDo here. Basically, go data, aircraft status, check that you have the right aircraft, the right engines, init A, fill out all of these things here, flight plan. If you haven't got a route, then you fill in the flight plan, otherwise you put in, I mean, the departure and all that. Alright. What was it? 1810? Let's just start by doing an open descent down to flight level 100. Shanghai traffic, United 7437, descending flight level 100. At Nixon. Up. There. Alright, so let's continue here. Yeah, so that's flight plan. Then I guess people do it a little bit different. Then you can go to RadNav, check that you have everything set up here. In the tow list, it will automatically put in these all the way down. Okay. Yeah, it's the decision. It says decision altitude, decision height. All right. Let's see. Is this one here you mean, right? Yeah. So it's 154 instead. Yeah, it's decision height, decision altitude, yeah, alright. Yeah, then you go to RadNav, then you can go to some use the acronym diffs rip. So data, init, flight plan, radio navigation, secondary flight plan, init B, performance. Other use diff rips, which is the same, data, init, flight plan, radio navigation, init B, performance, and then secondary. I don't know which one is the best. So let's see, do we have any entry below flight level 164? We are definitely going to do that, so that's okay. I think, Snitzel, that's the very thing. It's a habit. I mean, that's why I want to fly this a little bit more, because I mean, I started with the A321. I did the towless, just the ordinary one. Got really used to the diff rips acronym way of doing it, setting it up. Then I got the Neo, flew that a lot. And it's just, if you stick me that the old MacDo, I could almost do it. I could almost do it in sleep. I mean, I know the way around it, and I know I usually don't forget stuff there. I sometimes forget the acronym, and then it's where I forget to do things. But when I use the acronym, I usually don't forget things. The start, when I started flying the HU-59, I almost always forgot something in there. Usually it was going into the surf page and enabling everything there. What I really like about this system is that you can control most of the stuff in the airplane from here. I mean, those switches here, the ones you have here, you can also turn them on here. Oh, I turned this off. Guess by accident. That's on to... Why are all of these... Now it should be all green. Yeah. I must have hit something by accident. Zutko. So Cinder, what the plane is trying to do now is, you can see we have that little purple or whatever it is arrow here. That is my max speed right now. So what the plane is doing when I'm putting it into open descent, like I did by doing it like this, in the real airplane you would pull out on the knob. It is trying to say, alright, how fast, I mean, how many feet per minute downwards can I get while still maintaining the speed here? So let me what was the next one? Let me just get that, because then you can see what I was talking about before. The next one, below 7880. Alright, so let's put that in instead. Oh, my wife, she just opened the windows and the door. It feels like I'm going to get visited by penguins in a little bit. You can hear in the background the rah, rah, rah from the penguins. Alright, so what you should notice now is that when we go below 10,000 feet, this here will usually drop down. You cannot see it anymore because it drops down to 250. Then the plane is going to raise the nose just slightly, because it's still thinking, I want to descend as fast as I can, but I need to slow down. So the only way it can slow down with engines idle and not me using the spoilers, the speed brakes, is to raise the nose. When it goes down to the 250, when it reaches the 250 knots, it will lower the nose again. And you can also see it here, that the descent rate will decrease, probably even going up to 0. Yeah, you can also do the expedite. Then it just says, oh, you want to go down? Alright. Let's descend then. The only thing I have to say, Schnitzel, that I really would love to have in the Airbus that Boeing has, it's the only thing I can think of, is that when you go to standard here, you still have your other non-standard setting for the altimeter or the QNH here. Meaning that I could go up and I could press the buttons here a little bit, and then I could pre-select it. I know that I could just go out of standard, set it, and go into standard again, but it feels a little bit silly, actually. That's the only design oversight I can think of that Airbus has made. I don't know if they have sort of thought about it and then put it into newer versions of the software, but that would the only thing I can think of that I think would have been nice to have. Now let's see. I don't have a real calculator here for landing, but so I'm just going to wing it. Yeah, do that. And I'm pretty sure your supervisors would say, oh yeah, is he a pilot? No? Then screw him. Now let's see, how much do we have to play with here? About 3 kilometers, that should be enough. Brake low. Oh yes. One other thing that I love about the A359, and also quite possibly it would be the A380 as well, is that everything I need to know about the plane, more or less. No, that was actually not a penguin. Tortured penguin then. No, it's my wife now making tea. The windows and doors are still open. I can certainly feel that. I can see the flaps. I can see the speed brakes. I can see where the gears are down. I can see everything I need to know on this page. I love that. Alright, let's just oh yeah, while we descend, let's just listen to this. I love this.
Still here, Captain. And still no new information for you. Still here, Captain. And still no new information for you. Still here, Captain. And still no new information for you. Yes, sir.
Just wait
still
for it.
Nothing to say. Yes, Captain. Always at your service. Yes, sir. What might you want now? Captain.
And just do this.
I'm getting tired of this. Sir, might I suggest you find yourself a better game to play? Oh dear God, leave me alone. Sir, I must attend to the passengers. Why don't you write a letter to Ramses Aviation Design, telling them how good you think this model is?
Oh, just wait, it's going to get better.
Captain, why don't you try chewing your arm?
I love that. Captain, why don't you try chewing your arm off?
Oh, various gods, deities of the great spaghetti monster. I'm off to write a complaint letter to Austin.
Austin Meyer, that must probably be.
Sir, if you do not stop bothering me, I will commit suicide.
Listen to this, this is the best part. Oh.
Captain, I regret to inform you that the chief flight attendant has been killed.
Oh, poor man. I made him completely. Not that one. Let me see. What was it? It was 27, wasn't it? There we go. Yeah, I can see why you would say that. See, that was what I was talking about, Sonata. See, now it goes up to about 7,000. You can see we are slowing down to 250. Now I can help it a little bit. Just see this. I'm extending the spoilers here. I don't need to do it, but just to show you what it's going to do now. See? Now it's thinking, alright, I'm slowing down. I can descend a little bit more now. But we're still slowing down as well. Oh God. It's so funny to think about that with the old 747s, the 200s. You had to have a flight, and also the Concorde and all that. You needed a flight engineer, and also in order to take care of all the mechanical switches and all that. And now you put so many computers inside the airplane that should alleviate all of that. That brings in the flight engineer again, because now you have so many computers that the pilots cannot keep an eye on everything. It's kind of like a advancing regression, something like that. Alright, let's see, where are we? Still not at 7800. So let me just check. I think it wasn't it 180? Yeah. This 18, right? Yeah. So it was 1810. Alright. So let's go in here to performance, just so you can follow along. So we're in the descent phase. You can see I have the activate approach down here. Now we're going to do an auto land, so I have much more time to do all these little nitty-gritty things, and I don't have to change frequencies, because as far as I know we still don't have any ATC, so we can keep it steadily on 122.8, so I can concentrate fully about showing what the heck is going on here. So usually I would again use something like TopCat if I had the profile for it, to figure out what should I set the braking for. But from the meter that I got, we have variable winds that are very, very, very low, 1 meter per second. That's probably 1 to 3 knots. It's cav okay. The temperature is good. We don't have any rain or anything like that mentioned on the runway. So I'll say that setting the auto brake on low should be fine. We'll see. So now I'm going to set the altitude to what we decided for the runway. That is 18, because we can't set it to 18 to 10. But now I'm going to do a managed descent, meaning that the plane is going to uphold all the restrictions that we have during the approach phase. So not the approach, the arrival phase. So you can see here, if I leave it at this, at one point it's going to shift automatically to the approach phase. Usually it's somewhere around, that's my experience. I haven't sort of tested it out sort of systematically, but my experience is that it will change to the approach phase somewhere around when you're about to go into exit from the standard arrival and into the approach itself. That is, as far as I know, somewhere around here. You can see we out here. If we go to the approach, see we're following this, so we're going in like this. Sometimes I would also set fixed infos, but we are going to fly this route completely straight on. So the fixed infos doesn't really give us anything useful here. And also I cannot set fixed infos in the flight factor, so there's no need to cry over for that. But hello Shanghai, or Shanghai trees actually. And from what I have also gathered is that when you are descending in managed, the FMS is trying to do two things. Obviously, it's going to adhere to all of these restrictions. So if we have a altitude restrictions, stay above something or below something, it will try to do that. But from what I've gathered is that what you really is saying to it when you start your top of descent, if you go into managed right away, is that bring me down, I mean me is the airplane, so that I exit the standard arrival at this altitude here. And again, if you can do it within the restriction, there is altitude restrictions and all that, then you can set it to 100 feet less. Like for example here I could set it to 1700. This means that you will go in actually below the glide slope, giving you a little bit more time to actually to capture it. I don't think I need that right now, but that is also one option you could do. All right, let's turn these on. And turn wing. Oh, I did turn the wrong one on. It's just, let's turn wing off. Oh. You can also see the descent slope here, and you can see here we have restrictions. So what you could do, Sinara, for example, let's say we're out here. So now we're slowing down to 220. So there probably wouldn't be any use in activating the approach phase right now. But what I said you could do right now is that you could... No, I mean, that's your decision. What I would suggest you do is that you go to look at your charts, like I did here, your standard arrival, and then say, all right, at the first waypoint on my standard arrival, I need to be below flight level 164. You could also have maximum. I mean, the reverse, where you have the line below here, you could have two lines, means you need to be at this exact flight level. Then you could say, all right, I'm going to start with that. That is my first entry number. I could have set it to 164 and then say open descent. The only difference between open descent and managed is that in open descent, I think it's like Snitz say, you could also go into managed and then just press the we don't have that actually here, the expedite, but you could press the expedite. It would basically tell the airplane, all right, let's go down as fast as we can. What you do in open descent is that the airplane just say, all right, let's go down as fast as I can within the speed limit. Managed, it's going to try to follow a certain sort of climb step down so that you will end out with the altitude that you set here.
2,500.
And that is basically that little green dot you can see there. You can also just as well just select the entry altitude for your runway. This one here. Turn landing system on.
$2,000.
Alright, this is where I would actually activate the approach. They did it. I was too late. So now that you can see it activated the approach phase now. So now I'll begin to consider stabilizing the aircraft. So let's see, we're pretty low, so I'll just go to flaps 2. Come on. Oh, alright. I will, yeah, let's just activate the approach now. Go autopilot 2 on. So we have CAT 3 dual. So yeah, like I said, you could just set your entry altitude here for your runway and then start your descent with a managed. The only difference is really how fast you go down. So around this point here, I want to be about flaps 3. And as you can see, the airplane is constantly keeping me on the max speed I can get in order to extend the next set of flaps. And that is basically what the approach phase is doing. If I were to retract flaps now, it would go up to the next speed in line. Go to flaps 3. That it could maximally keep and still give me the ability to extend the next level of flaps. Alright, let's extend. Landing gear down. And this is where usually the area where I personally try to get my feet up on my pedals so that I don't jolt the airplane too much around too close to the runway. And I forgot to say Shanghai traffic, United 7437 inbound for ILS runway 18 right. And Shanghai traffic, United 7437 on final for ILS runways 18 right. Go flaps 4. Flaps full. Now the plane is completely stabilized. I could have selected to start the approach phase a little bit earlier. I probably would have done that on the first turn, the first way down. I probably would have activated it down there, but you don't need to do it. And let's just check. We have flaps full, speed brake is on, we have brake low, ECAM status is no, well, all blue, but that's just a flight factor thing, I guess. And everything else, lights are as they should be, seatbelt signs on. We're ready to do an auto land. And we have 2 whites and 2 reds, so that's good.
$500.
So when the radio altimeter down there says about 400, that would be the place where I usually disengage the autopilot. But since we're doing an auto land today, I'm going to not disengage it. Yeah, that's terrain I'm
300.
landing.
100 above.
So let's see how good you are at landing, little plane.
200. Minimum 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 10.
Oh, reverse green. Jesus. All right. Auto brake manual, disengage autopilot so I can...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shanghai. The local time is 12:41 p.m. and it's currently about 13 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember
All right.
to use caution when opening the overhead
Yeah, the
doors.
autopilot is just so nice.
If this is your final destination,
Let me
you're flying with us. If you're making a connection,
get rid of these
check
jerks
your
here.
to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
And let's say, where do we start here? Let's see. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. And goodbye. Bye-bye. All right, let's see. We need to start the... Turn this off here. Go to taxi lights. Start the EPU. There we go. Retract flaps. Disarm the speed brake. Did I even? Yeah, I did arm it. There we go. What else? Open a tab here and look at Shanghai. Let's get a approach airport, and let's see, parking stands west, it must be. Yeah, let's go for 240, 246. Let's go for let's go for 248. It's straight out. That's easy. And where are we? Where are we? Where the heck am I? Uh-huh. Doesn't it support moving maps? Let me try to get... Oh, that's right. It doesn't support moving maps. Alright. So... I know it's the second one, so this is the first... So what we see here must be that part here, so we need to go up here. So we are probably at Charlie 4. See if there's another... No, we're at Charlie 3, alright. We're at Charlie 3. So we're here. So we're going to go for Charlie 3, Charlie, Delta 1-2, Mike 1-4, and 248. There's also Link 1-6. Yeah, it's... yeah. Shanghai traffic, United 7437 taxi to stand 248 via Charlie 3, Charlie, Delta 12, Mike 14, Link 16. Alright. And I obviously don't need that. Alright, let me just get a little closer look here. AV tab, can I see? Charlie is the first one, so Charlie must be this one here. I would guess. It's the closest one we have. Anything else I need to turn off on? Well, basically, technically there actually is, but it's a little bit dependent on who you ask. So let's go to serve controls. TCAS should be standby. No. Alright. Let's taxi. See if we can find Delta 12. Let's turn the terrain traffic off as well. So that we don't cook any of the ground personnel. Get a drive-by. Just 2 seconds. Alrighty, back. Just had to say bye-bye to the to Mrs. Basement, or whatever people call her. Just going to work. All right, let's taxi to, what was it? That's 1-1, so it's 1-2 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, D1, 1-2. Huh? Oh. Alright, let's take D11 then. Oh, 1-0. I'm quite confident that this is our gate. It's the one we want. Oh, cloudy. Let's see if it has a number. They're really touchy, these brakes here. No. Oh, maybe there's a little number down here. No, it's just this gate. It's a standard. Alright, let's do a different kind of oh. There we are. APU bleed on. Set strobe to, I forgot to set that to auto. Let's set this to auto. Turn this off. Engine 1 and 2 off. Beacon off. They should... They are. Let's see if they're going to cross each other. Sometimes they do. You're welcome. You're very welcome, Sonata. I mean, since I'm not a real pilot myself, I try to do exact the same. Seatbelt sign off. Turn these off here. Let's get some. Let's get that one here as well. Go to ground service, doors and hatches. Let's turn, open this, open this, open this. And open this one here as well. Ground equipment. This one here. Chokes. Plane at the gate. Air condition. That's it. Now we can go to external on and turn off the APU. Alright, so I need to fill out the flight report here for UAL. Let me see. We were and are still on VATSIM, so I just need to get pretty sure we are at 248 here. Landing speed according to this was minus 138, so that's very nice. Let's see, search ZBAA. Was the Eastern, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah. And then we were at 408. Submit. But I have to admit, if I have to choose sort of looks-wise, I do honestly prefer the A359 over the A346. I just do. I love that Beagle Brother windscreen it has here, or these little dark markers around the windshields. I think I got an explanation as to why it has them, but I cannot remember. But I just find it to look more, just looks more cool than the A346. But I mean, those four engines, they are really nice as well. But I think it's so insane how much this airplane here is what it's ETOPS rated for. It's ETOPS rated for, I think it's 350 or 380 minutes. So if you don't know what ETOPS is, it's There's the funny acronym and the real acronym. The real acronym is something with single engine turn something. I cannot. Let me see if I can find it, or maybe I'm confusing it with something else. Let me see. Yeah, ETOPS is Extended Range Twin Engine Operation Performance Standards. There is another one, and that's what it's called now. EDTO, Extended... let me see. Extended Diversion Time Operations, yes, that's what it's called. The funny acronym for ETOPS is Engines Turn or Passengers Swim. I love that. I love that. So basically, as far as I understand it, what the EDTO or the ETOPS means is how long you can fly over water on a single engine before you have to do a diversion. So in this case here, it's 380 minutes, which is a heck of a lot when you, or 350, when you think of the standard for EDTO rating is 180 minutes. Alright, but while we wait for the passengers to deboard, we're going to do a little bit of, I mean, there's nothing interesting in seeing the landing replay, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm just going to disconnect from VATSIM, because the autopilot just lands nicely. There's not much to say about that. Let's see how much time we have before.
Are we almost done deboarding our passengers?
12 minutes, that should be enough.
We're still deplaning.
Let me remove the fly live top here and the PAX overlay, so you have a full screen to look at. Alright, let's go to replay mode then, and let's go a little bit back, maybe a little bit more. Such a nice soft landing. Get a front look. I just think that the A359, it looks so insane with those huge engines. Try-
10, 20, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500.
Let's try to look from the window in here. Let's see. Here.
Terrain. Terrain.
Yeah, we're going to get all of these weird call-outs, unfortunately, but... And the wind sounds like someone opened the door or window.
500.
Terrain.
Terrain. I know, I'm landing.
Terrain.
400.
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
Would you stop it?
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
200.
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
90.
Terrain. Terrain.
60, 50,
Terrain.
40,
Terrain.
20, 10.
Alright, let's get one from the tower. And since I have the time, let's try to end with my usual... Let's see, yeah, we can do one from the tower as well. My usual exit. All right. Oh, it was over here. Alright guys, I would like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank the guys that have, those of you that have followed my channel recently. I think Sinana was one of them, so thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this stream just as much as I enjoyed making it. And with this being said, let's go to the exit music and watch that plane taxi into the parking spot. I hope that I'll see you next time when I streams, and I think tomorrow it's going to be farming sim, so if you have an interest in that, then you can come, and if you don't, then come anyway, and you can see if you can gain interest for it. I do, otherwise I wouldn't stream it. And just stay safe out there, and I'll see you around. Bye bye guys.
Thank you.